Hello and thank you for joining me today. Well, this is the Tuesday, March 24th edition of our video devotionals. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope your Tuesday's going well. We got a little bit of a cool down here in central North Carolina, but that's okay. It'll be hot soon enough, and but we do have that cool down, and sometimes that's good for a lot of outdoor activities. When it gets hot, it can be difficult on people. We're going to be in Luke chapter 4 today. We're going to look at verses 9 through 13. Find that if it is your custom. Otherwise, we just want to say thank you for watching. We thank you for the comments, the acknowledgments. And, of course, when we bring up prayer requests from time to time, thank you for praying. And then when you do, we'll do our best to pray also. All right, so Luke chapter 4 is about the temptation of Christ. And there were three temptations there. We're really going to focus on the third one. And so let's go ahead and do that then. So here is the third temptation of Christ. And Luke 4:9, that's where we'll begin. And he brought him to Jerusalem and set him on a pinnacle of the temple and said unto him, If thou be the Son of God, cast thyself down from hence. For it is written, so he's going to the word of God here, for it is written, He shall give his angels charge over thee to keep thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. So there's the quotation from the Bible that Satan is using. And Jesus answering said unto him, It is said, Thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. And when the devil had ended all the temptation, he departed from him for a season. Now here's something very crafty about Satan. On those first two temptations, Satan didn't use the word of God. Jesus used the word of God against him. But in this third temptation, here is Satan very craftily using the word of God to tempt Jesus, who is the word of God. Now here's the thing. Here's what Satan was quoting, except he left out a small part. And leaving out any of it is a big deal, because we may say, well, just a little part. No. It's very important. God put what he put in the Bible for a reason, and as Jesus said to Satan in that temptation, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word. So every word is important. All right. Notice here in Psalm 91, here's what Satan was quoting, and I'm going to emphasize the part that he left out. Okay. So notice Psalm 91:11, For he shall give his angels charge over thee to keep thee. There's where the devil stopped. But here's what he left out. In all thy ways. You think, well, that's not significant. Well, he left out in all thy ways. And he goes on to say, by leaving that out, he says, They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. So here's the thing. Satan leaves out a little part. You think, well, why did he leave that part out? And I'm going to tell you why. One, well, Satan's a liar. And in the Garden of Eden, Satan was the one who twisted and manipulated the word of God against Eve. And of course, we know what the result was there. So here's the point, though. Leaving that little part out is exactly how Satan was tempting the very word of God, Jesus himself. He's also going to do the same to you and I. Now, here's the thing. People that have very little to do with the Lord, and we're just going to say they're saved, but they don't have a walk with God, we'll put it that way, and maybe their church attendance is sketchy, but they don't have a walk with God. We'll just say they just don't read it on a regular basis. They may only hear it when they go to church and hear the preacher or a Sunday school teacher, somebody stand up, and they may hear it because it's read, and they hear it, and then when that's done, then they just don't have much of a relationship with the Word of God. And so if you don't read it, you're certainly not going to know it. So what I want to say is we need to read it, and you need to know it. Because in this case, this little phrase, in all thy ways, you know what that means? That means in all thy ways means that part of in all thy ways that God had planned for Jesus himself, the will of God, the will of the Father for Jesus, certainly was not to jump off the temple. Okay, we know that. We know there's a lot of things that Jesus did not do, and absolutely there's nothing he did that would have been in conflict with in all thy ways that the Lord had, that the Father had for Jesus himself. And so the same for you and I. There is a way, there's a plan, there's places, there's people, there's just decisions, all of this. And the point is, Satan is a master of even taking the Word of God and trying to get us off the path, get us out of the will of God by even using the Word of God and leaving something out, twisting its meaning, whatever it might be. So you need to continue to read the Word of God. You need to know it, and that's very important. All right, we're going to stop right there. Hope you have a great day, safe day, healthy day. Lord willing, we'll be back tomorrow. Hard to believe it's already going to be Wednesday tomorrow, but it will be. And thank you for watching.